Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Wednesday night, Valentine's Day. I love you. I love you so much. What's going on, everybody? I am Jason C. What is going on? Welcome to what's going to be a action-packed show tonight. A lot of great whiskeys to taste through, some new whiskeys, ones that just kind of popped up in the kind of the whiskey sphere, and I was able to get some early bottles to test with you guys. So figured we'll crack a few of them open tonight. Pretty much all these. I got one poured already that I have not tried yet, so we will get into this one. Let's see what we got. Just saying hi to you people in the chat. We already have 143 chiming in. James Morgan says you're looking good. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Rock the house. Cheers, you all. Let's see. Giselle's Bourbon. Actually, let's just run through the chat. I do want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody watching. And if my girlfriend Kim is watching, she usually watches the beginning of the video. How you doing, sweetie? Love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Everyone's gonna be like, why are you not with her tonight? Well, we've kind of, been talking about that and kind of sharing our Valentine's Day through like multiple weekends. So we'll see what this weekend holds. But it's gonna be a good weekend, I think. All right, here we go. Hello, Jason C. And thanks to Kim for sharing Jason on this Wednesday night. Yes, I'm sure it was very nice of her to let me hang out with you guys tonight. Let's see here. Please, she's the most supportive person in the world. She's like, yeah, do your stream, do your thing. So that's what's awesome about her. Let's see. We have, go back to the chat here. We have EJ's in the house. Aloha, cheers all. MJ, EJ, and MJ in the house. What are you guys doing here for Valentine's Day? Four Leaf Whiskey, having a bit of peated Irish whiskey tonight. What is going on, Stacy? Got some cool information to share about OHLQ, what they're working on here for all the Ohio residents. Josh Fritz is in the house. What is going on? Cool Running said hi to you. William Wiley in the house. What's going on, William? Cheers. Whiskey Nose. What's going on? Marty Party. Brandon W is in the house. What is going on? 96 Milliman. Who else? Oh, that's me. Michael Speakerman. What's going on, man? Tim Cornet in the house. Cheers, people. Mark S is here. We have Stephen Walt. Evening all and HVD. Happy Valentine's Day. Outside the Star. What's everyone got in the Glen tonight? Joe the Sample Guy's here. Mr. Mike Meyer. James Lay. What is going on, buddy? Russ Ellis here. Dr. Sped, time to pour that frogman. Absolutely, Devin and Tonachich and Tonchich. Antonchich. I probably murdered that. Sorry, Devin. I murdered that. Let's see. Jeff Perkins is here. Are you schlammered in the house? What is going on? Everett Jarvis is here. What's going on, buddy? Ben Draman in the house. Always good to see you, man. Slopshot is here. Truman. Larry View, Sandeep Chima is here. Thurston Howell III is here. That just sounds like such a proper, Gilligan's Island. Thurston Howell III. Wasn't that his name? Thurston Howell III in Gilligan's Island. Is that you, man? Are you still on the island? I don't know why that's never hit me before. Mr. Mom 310 is in the house. I don't think I've run into you. What's going on? Ian Knepp is here. What's going on, Ian? Daniel Sutherland. Let's see here. Whiskey Juice is here. Giselle's Boston. Nice to see you as always, buddy. Bill Mills, Tom Shanley, Smoke and Firewater. What is going on? Keith Stepansky is here. Eric Jackson. Stefano Marzullo is here. JG says, whoops. Know what's going on. Our first super chat of the night, John Malke. I'm murdering his names tonight. Sorry, guys. Here's Jason. Been watching for a couple of years, but first timer catching you live. Dude, thank you so much for chiming in. I'll give you a little, let's see here. What can, first super chat of the night. Here we go.
I like it a lot.
I do like it a lot. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Let's see. Bourbon. The Bourbonist. Sipping on some 1924 tonight. Bourbonist, what do you think of that one? So many mixed reviews about that bottle. I still have yet to acquire a bottle of that one. I kind of refuse to pay the up charges for it. I just want to score it at retail if I can. So I'm just kind of waiting that one out. Great front of the palate, great mid palate. No finish for me on the 1924. That kind of killed it. Devin Reichens, he's watching from work. All right, man. Don't sleep on your job. Martell, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you, man. And I'm just trying to catch up here. All right. Hey, Rare Breeds here. What's up, my man? Let's get it on. So I'm wondering if there's probably a good amount of people out for Valentine's Day tonight. That's why I feel like it would be really great for me to kind of tackle this long lingering question that I keep getting from all my patrons as far as like what's the best pick we did. Also, it gives us a chance to talk about some lesser known brands that you guys might not know of quite yet, because we had to kind of tackle a lot of those last year for some of the barrel picks, some of the ones that some of the brands that we don't really talk about too much. But, getting barrel picks for some of the more heritage distillers is getting harder and harder. So, what happens? You kind of focus on the smaller distillers, try to find some of those diamonds in the rough. And I really think we did find that a lot last year. But we do have one big bourbon I think people want to hear about tonight, which is the Larceny A124, which we will dive into. We will also compare it to the A124 for Logic Barrel Proof, because everyone seems to always want to compare those two whenever they release around the same time. So we'll dive into that. We'll also get a first sip review here, the Hard Truth Bourbon. That's right. Hard Truth released 3 bourbons. You will see a full video of all 3 of them, my review on all 3 of them, probably, I think, Friday. But I did try the standard bourbon, and the other 2 a bottle and bond. This is a 90 proofer, and you're going to want to hear about that one. We also have a couple of other little sneaky bottles we'll crack open before we get into the blind tasting of the Mashin Journey picks. So, Jason, 10 days till Mets spring training begins. Oh, God. I can't even think about baseball right now. Can't even do it. All right. Larceny Barrel Proof A124 is very disappointing compared to previous batches. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about that when we get there, because I just feel like, I don't know if that's unfair or not, but we'll talk about that a little bit. But first and foremost, I want to talk about this whiskey right here to get things started tonight. This is the new Buzzard Roost American whiskey. They sent me a sample, this one. It is 105 proof, nice proof point. So this is what it is. So this is a new addition to the collection for Buzzard Roost. Collection of super premium bourbons and rye whiskeys. New American whiskey. American whiskey takes its place among the Buzzard. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, here we go. Proof to 105, and it's their most approachable bottle as far as price goes at a SRP of $40. That's definitely on the low end for any Buzzard Roost. For its first American whiskey, Buzzard Roost turned to its library of Char No. 1 barrels. Some of my favorite bourbons that they make are the Char No. 1, with proprietary toast profiles for secondary aging of this 3-year-old source whiskey. The result is an American whiskey carrying aromas of, I don't want to read that yet. We had a great, we had great fun creating our first American whiskey. All right, guys, so 105 proof, $40, 3-year-old source whiskey, and yeah, there we go. Let's try it. Let's see, anything else it says on here? I'm guessing this is NGP. We'll see. Let's taste. Let's smell it first. So in talking to the folks from Buzzard Roost, they really think their proprietary toast profile that they utilize together with that Char No. 1, which is, in the world of bourbon, you're normally looking at a 3 or a 4, but that No. 1 Char, again, just kind of like the toast profile, really brings out a little bit more of a high level sweetness. You're not really getting into those deep, dark, like oak flavors. And this is very sweet. It has like a nice little like light cherry cola vibe going on. I do think there's some youthful characteristics here a little bit. I feel like I smell more rye than anything in here, but I mean, I know it's an American whiskey. but I do smell, I think, rye here. I'm emailing Buzzard Roost to get their whiskey up in Wisconsin. Apparently, they were close to getting up there, licensing the state. I can't wait to get a bottle. All right. Cheers, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Let's try it. You know, I got to say, that's surprisingly tasty. You guys know me. I mean, I get media samples, and if I think it tastes like crap, I think it tastes like crap. This doesn't taste like crap. This actually tastes pretty good. It's got a real nice sweetness to it. Almost this almond pastry, kind of vanilla cookie type thing, or like Nilla wafer type cookie, maybe with almonds. But it does have a really good spice to it. So, man, it's kind of nice. Second sip, I think a little bit more of the youthful characteristics come out just a little bit. Not a lot, but man, that Char 1 toast profile that they use for a 3, I would never guess this is a 3-year-old product. I actually think it's that well-rounded for a young whiskey. I need that BR cigar rye. Yeah, that's a good stuff. Hey, Shauna Marie D is here. What's going on, Shauna? EMC is here. Travis Robeson in the house. Bunch of people coming in. What is going on? Martel says, I haven't been disappointed with the 2 offerings I've had from Buzzard Roost. That cigar rye is off the charts, though. Yeah, I remember having that with you at the Buzzard Roost bar in Louisville, Martel, and I was like, we had to like coerce the bartender to like break that one out, and she's like, oh, I just happen to have some. I'm like, okay, pour that, please. Yeah, it's very light and bright. I like the price point here, $40. It's a very light, easy American whiskey. Nice little proof point too. You know, because I think a lot of folks will be like, well, I could get 100 proof bourbon for, you know, $35 or $30, or even in at some points, if you're looking at like Evan Williams bottled and bond, which can be like $18 or $20 in some places. But I think this at 105 proof gives a little extra oomph. It's got a nice spice. It comes off like a Burai, because it's very sweet up front. It's very spicy on the back end. For $40, this is killer. I would recommend people trying this for $40. Absolutely. I've been saying it. What Buzzard Roost does with their casks, with their barrels, with their proprietary toast profiles, the different char levels they play with, they get the max amount that they can out of each whiskey they source, and I think this is no exception. So I'll give this a thumbs up right now. Give it a thumbs up. Yeah, exactly. Smoke and firewater. How refreshing. How refreshing that finally we get a new release, not just sub $100, but sub 50. So, man, Buzzard Roost, thank you for bringing a whiskey like this to the market. Again, guys, I don't want to get it twisted here. This isn't a whiskey that's going to be like, oh my God, I have to, you know, run out and buy it now, buy 15 backups. It's not going to blow you away, but for what it is, for $40, if you like a Burai type profile where it's spicy and sweet, mainly sweet, I think you'll really enjoy this for $40. So there you go. Buzzard Roost American whiskey, 105 proof. Check it out. That's a nice little sample there. I'm about 15 minutes from Baraboo, Wisconsin. Oh, appreciate any time. Oh, let me get rid of that. Is the James E. Pepper decanter worth pursuing? So I had a sample of it, Whiskey Juice, and I thought it was actually really good. I'm not, you know, I haven't had a chance though to sit with it. So don't, you know, I want to run out and buy it just because I'm saying it's really good right now. Because I really like to, you know, sit with the whiskey for, you know, for a little bit, especially when it's that type of price point. But from what I tasted, you know, I did enjoy it. I thought it was pretty damn good. Let's see here. James having some Tennessee, ADHD, NBC pick. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick, actually, that they did. Wheelhorse Cigar Batch is on my radar for cheap bottle in March. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me kind of like, what are my, you know, my upcoming, you know, releases that I really want to get my hands on. I think the number one right now has to be the Heaven Hill 18-year from the Heritage Collection. I know it's going to be a pain in the ass to acquire. I'll probably end up paying over market value to get my hands on one because, you know, I don't know when they'll be releasing at Heaven Hill. That's really the best chance you have to get it if you're willing to wait online in the morning. But I mean, given that the 17 year was my bourbon of the year a couple of years ago, I'm really looking forward to that one. I did read one review of it, and it said it was actually pretty light on the palate, which has me a little bit concerned. But I guess we'll see when it comes out what happens. Yeah, there's a few releases that I'm looking forward to. Obviously, anything from Wild Turkey, I'm always ready for. It'll be interesting to see how these Elijah Craig barrel proofs kind of come out here now that we just got through A124 with the lower age statement of only 10 years. Will we see a super high age statement in the B or the C batch? Will it kind of stay even keel? I think that's what people, you know, keep asking about. Speaking of Heaven Hill, it looks like Connor O'Driscoll, master distiller of Heaven Hill, will be appearing on the channel. I think it's going to be the first week of April. So mark your calendars for that one. That is a huge get for me. I was so surprised, and we're going to dive into as much whiskey talk and every single brand underneath that Heaven Hill umbrella. I want to ask about the future of it, the past, the present, the future, everything that's happening with Heaven Hill. So Connor O'Driscoll, first week of April, off the still episode. It's going to be big. So mark your calendars, man. Going to be, I told you, this next couple months, the guests we have coming on are going to be absolutely stellar. No, it won't be April 1st. I believe, let's see if I pull up the calendar here. If I look at April, it'll be April 3rd, I believe. I think April 3rd is the day. So the first Wednesday in April, which is when I usually go live. So yeah. On top of that, in a couple weeks here, I do want to also get you guys to mark this on your calendar. We are going to have the next Off the Still episode with special guest Ian Sturman, master distiller at Ross and Squibb /NGP. And that's right, you're reading that right, folks, in the top right corner. He will be here in the Master and Drum Whiskey Room, live in studio, answering all your questions, diving into just everything that the past, the present, and future of Ross and Squibb, what they're coming out with, what he's working on, you know, the future of the Remus series, the Gatsby series, all of it. So really, we're gonna sip some pretty delicious whiskeys. I think we're in the middle of kind of choosing what we're gonna be sipping on, but I cannot wait to have him here live in the studio. Again, that is February 28th of this year. Here, a couple weeks, guys. Ian Sturman, Ross and Squibb, live in studio. Coming, he's just driving here from Indiana, so that's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, we are just yeah, you better pepper him with questions about ECBP batches. Yeah, I knew that. I knew I was going to get that. You were going to be like, oh, ask him about the batching, you know, for Connor O'Driscoll. I get it. JG, was that from my name drop to you? Yeah, JG, it was. So big shout out to JG for making the connection with myself and Ian, because he's the one that kind of set that connection up. And Ian apparently is a fan of the channel. He watches, and so it'll be really cool. Great information, great shows coming up, a lot to learn, and this is what I definitely want to get back to. Can I get him a PJ? Can I get him a PJ in? What? Nice, awesome. Yep, yeah. So we have just some great content coming up here, guys. As far as the live streams go, next week, I'm hoping we will finally have the finals for Blendageddon. Just waiting on Mr. Fred Minnick. If not, it will be probably the week after. It might be the first week in March when we have it instead. It just depends on when Fred's available. Since kind of COVID has been over. I mean, COVID's still here, obviously, but he's been traveling more around. He was just at the Super Bowl, so trying to get him, you know, locked in for an appearance has been tough. So we'll see how it goes. As the whiskey room cleans up, get those bottles off the floor. Oh, Terrence, yes. The whiskey room will be very cleaned up by the time he arrives in a couple weeks. I have so many bottles that need to go. So, yeah. I might just put a big box outside of my house with just a bunch of whiskey here that I'm not drinking. Just if you guys want it, come pick it up. You need to get Fred a bean train as a gift for doing this. Yeah, right? Seriously. Man, that thing is good. All right. So let's get into some news stories. And then as we're doing that, we'll crack some of these new bottles open before we get into our blind tasting here at the end. Master Drum equal, PJs Private Jet, aka Big Sneaker Monies. Yeah, I wish I had a private jet. I've flown private once, and that was for work, and it was glorious. Actually, no, twice. Twice I've flown private. The first time I ever did it, there's nothing like getting in the jet, flying, landing, not having to go through security, all that other stuff. You just get out the plane, you get a ride on the tarmac, and you're gone. I mean, it does kind of ruin it. And then it's like, because I flew private to the destination, but going home, I had to fly, commercial. So the difference, it's like, oh man, I flew here, and then now I'm flying back commercial, waiting on the lines, going to all the security, waiting for your gate to, waiting for your time in line to get your seat, what group you're in, get called. I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, I was spoiled, and now it's like, oh my gosh. If there's one luxury that's probably worth it, it's probably having a private jet. Yes, and all the sneakers as well, all the sneakers. JJ, I'm leaving now for your house. Finally scored barrel bourbon batch number 35. Well worth it. I got to try that one, Whiskey Juice, for sure. Sounds rough, Jason. It was only once, and it was for work. It was cool. My job, they have a private jet, and I was able to jump on it for a quick trip. I think it was a trip from here to Nashville. It was such a quick flight, but man, I just felt funny on that trip, but it was good. So, all right, here we go, guys. Let's get into a few news stories here. Because, with most news, it's all about that is right. It is all about the more you know. So let's get into the first news story here, guys. And it is about Heaven's Door. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little about Heaven's Door, but they're kicking off their exploration series with delicious bourbon finish and apple brandy casks. So on Wednesday, Heaven's Door, the whiskey brand founded by Bob Dylan, announced a new whiskey collection, Exploration Series, led by Heaven Door's master distiller Ken Pierce and master blender Alex Moore. This will experiment with different finishing techniques and debuts with number one, the Calvados finish. A 5-year-old Tennessee whiskey was finished in freshly dumped Calvados brandy cask and bottled at 108 proof. Suggested retail price of $80 and can be purchased online or around the U.S. Apparently it's getting some really good reviews on this one. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Heaven's Door is one of those brands where I don't really explore much, and I don't know why. I mean, you guys let me know in the chat. Is Heaven's Door a brand that people are sleeping on? Now, I feel like they get looked over because they do use a lot of, the schmickel-dickel in their source products, and it's kind of a weird thing. Like, people won't buy it because of that fact. They feel like they could taste it, but if you look through the library of releases that they've done, they have released so much stuff, 10-year-old stuff, different ryes, different mash bills. Now we're getting into finishes. Obviously, they have the super high price bootlegger series, which has, the packaging on that is probably worth $400 alone. It's insane. So I feel like for me, Heaven's Door might be a brand I do want to explore a little bit more this year and taste some of them out. What do they have? The Ascension, I think, blend that they made. I got to look back and see, but I feel like there's so many things that they come out with, and I just kind of ignored it for the most part. But I think I want to give it a shot this year. Maybe dive into a little bit more Heaven's Door. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? You've tried enough of them. What do you think? Let's see here. So I hear you're going to have porch bourbon, says Raging Irishman. Everybody wants to go on my porch now. Yeah, I might have porch bourbon. Heaven's Door is not my jam. Where are you happy? Let's see. Can we explore with something other than the cask finishes? Say Master Blender. No, I'm not saying doing that, Mr. Mom. I know where you're going with that, Master Blender. Anyone know if barrel? No, let's see. The Dickel Taint. Is that what it is? The Decades was quite good. I like the Heaven's Door Redbreast one, but you could taste the Irish whiskey influence. That makes sense, Stacy, why you would like that one for sure. Haven't had Heaven's Door. Picked up the 10-year-old rye for a friend. I think it's 10-year-old, 100 proof MGP, but seemed like a solid value at sub 100. Haven't tried. MJ likes Heaven's Door rye. Their Redbreast finish is outstanding. Okay. Yeah, maybe I could just try those 200 milliliter bottles, Kenneth. But like I said, there's just so many different expressions that they seem to release all the time. So here's an interesting story. Let's get into this one a little bit. So Miller, or I should say MolsonKors Brewery, workers are preparing to strike, which is joining a wave of union action sweeping the beer and whiskey industries. Unionized workers at the Fort Worth MolsonKors Brewery have authorized a strike that would see 420 Teamsters walk off the job unless demands are met. If initiated, the strike would impact brands including Coors Light, Miller Lite, Blue Moon, Topo Chico Spirited, and more. The move comes days after MolsonKors, conservatively valued at $13 billion, announced record high growth and profits for 2023. Let's see. In its statement, Teamsters Local 997 demanded pay raises, improved health care, and retirement benefits for its members who make packaging warehouse MolsonKors brews. Of the 520 workers at Fort Worth factory, over 80% are unionized with the Teamsters. The reason why I bring this story up, because I think it's something to keep an eye on as these distillers, and we know Coors just bought Blue Run, so a lot of these people getting into the whiskey game as well. And as these companies that are acquiring whiskey companies and just seem to be getting bigger and wanting to rule the world, basically, they're making bank. And on top of that, it's like, are you doing enough to sustain your employees, based on that, all the money you're making? We talked about it last week, how Kentucky made billions of dollars in revenue from the bourbon industry. And I'm sure that's kind of filtering out everywhere, including some of these bigger companies. So if you're not taking care of your employees, we'll see what happens. But I do think this is also happening in Europe. I did read a story that, if you guys have ever heard of the Scottish distillery, the Dalmore, I think, is having an issue with workers and not getting comped or medical benefits, something to that nature. They feel like they're getting fair treatment. So as these distillers get bigger and the pockets thicken up and everyone starts to get paid, will their employees get paid as well? So I think it's something to keep an eye on. I'm not sure how much it's going to affect things, but when everybody starts making money, that's when the employees start looking around like, well, when are my pockets going to get, a little bit bigger? So we'll see what happens. It's interesting. It's one of those things, who knows what could happen. So this seems like a trend in the U.S. auto industry, airline industry, now the alcohol industry going on strike. Yeah, as inflation goes up and the big companies are, making a lot of profits, employees, look for help. And, how can we get pieces of that pie? Because we're the ones on the front lines kind of doing, the work and putting out the product and bottling it, everything. So it's a lot. Hey, Cheech is in the house. What's going on, Cheech? Fancy Franchi is here. I hope I see Gary this weekend. I'm going to do my best to see Mr. Gary Franchi. So, all right, let's get into the next news story. And I think we're going to get into, let's see here. No, not that one. Not that one. Oh, this one. So did not even see this bottle coming, but it looks like High West is releasing a bottled and bond rye. So this is their first bottled and bond expression, which is a rye whiskey. Let's see. This dropped this February 2nd. The brand told Whiskey Raiders the expression is a straight rye whiskey made from a mash bill of 80% rye and 20% malted rye and aged for 4 years. High West Bottled and Bond Rye Whiskey has a suggested retail price of $80 and is available for purchase online. Could ship to Kentucky, North Dakota, Nebraska, New Hampshire, and Washington, D.C., and at liquor stores across the U.S. Flavor, it says apple, sage, sugar cookie, fresh grated nutmeg, cinnamon, and juniper spice. So, 80% rye, 20% malted barley, so no corn in the mix. You're just looking at an 80-20 rye. Interesting mash bill. I don't know, but $80 for a, $80 for a 4-year rye? I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm kind of like just meh with High West lately. They're just not doing it for me. I just think that their prices have gone sky high, and I don't know. I just feel like since Constellation Brands bought them, haven't really seen anything worth, I don't know, kind of going crazy for. They have a few really good releases here and there, but most of those end up being distillery only, and nobody can get their hands on them. So I don't know. High West is in this weird like area for me where I want to keep trying their stuff and finding it, but they're making the stuff I want to try very hard to find. So if that makes sense. So yeah. Is it cat? No, it's not cast strength. It's if it's not that, if it's not that, that's a ripoff. $20 too high. We need a High West and Smoke Wagon collaboration. Call it the High Wagon, the West Wagon. Let's see. Bring back the Burai. The price is wrong, bitch. Rather just go Heaven Hill Bottle and Bomb $42.99. Yeah, I mean, and High West already makes like their man. Sorry guys, I hit the wrong button. I'm still live. Yeah, sorry. I hit the wrong button on the browser. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to edit that out. All right, let's go to the next story. All right. So a name, you guys. Yeah, I just hit the wrong. I hit the wrong button. No worries. We're back. We're back. All right. Next story. Lisa Wicker. You may know Lisa Wicker from former. She was the former master distiller over at Widow Jane, but now she is joining Staghorn. So Staghorn announced that it's bringing aboard Lisa Wicker as the master distiller for its newly opened Garrard County Distilling Company. Wicker was previously the master distiller and president at Widow Jane Distillery. Wicker's pedigree is undoubtedly impressive. Before her current position at Garrard County, she worked at Widow Jane for almost 6 years. Under her leadership, Widow Jane was the largest heirloom corn crop whiskey in the U.S. during her tenure. She left Widow Jane back in November of 2022. And I remember sitting down with her not too long ago, had kind of a lunch with her, and she was kind of alluding to the fact that things were happening at Widow Jane, but at the time she couldn't really say anything. So nice to see her land on her feet. I never tasted anything from that distillery. Anybody in the chat ever taste anything from Staghorn? I can't, I don't go. Let's see. Fledgling Garrard County Distilling, or Garrard County Distilling. I'm probably butchering that name too. Has anyone had anything from that? I'm just curious. Hey, what's up? Big Rick is here. Let's see. Sagamore crushes them in value. Jason fell again. No, my internet cable's fine. I think they make wine, right? Oh, maybe that's what it is. What's a good bottle from Widow Jane? Your reviews make me not want to ever try them. Yeah, I can't say I've had like a killer bottle of Widow Jane that made me like go crazy for them. I think the only one that I liked was the Decadence bottle. I thought was pretty damn good. But again, that was like what, a $250 bottle? It seems like you got to really pay, a premium to get some of the good stuff. Their regular 10 years okay. I don't think it's any, but again, their 10 years close to $100. And there's a lot of 10 years on the market that are way below that. So they're in this weird pricing area that just, it's not good enough for me to want to spend the money. But the age statement, I could see why people would want to maybe pay that money for it. I don't know. Let's see here. I have one Widow Jane, a 10th anniversary bottle. It's good, but underwhelming. Man, the Decadence has yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. Most of their stuff, even the high-end stuff, is sourced by Dickel. So you have to kind of like that minerality that it has. I don't mind it sometimes, especially when it's an ultra-aged Dickel product. I feel like the younger age Dickel, I get way more of it. So a higher age, I can deal with it a little bit better, but that's me. WJ 10 years, like $60. Is it $60 now? I feel like it's more expensive here. I would have to double check. I haven't really looked at it in a while. It might be 60. You might be right. Decadence had good flavors, but no finish. Yeah, Maro, I think that was exactly my experience with it. Thought it was good, but usually the spirit, because usually all the Widow Jane stuff is pretty low in proof. All right, let's get to the next one here, guys. And this one we're actually going to crack open right now. This is independent bottler High and Wicked releases Irish whiskey finished in 4 square rum casks. So here is the photo of the bottle. If you guys have never seen this, so this is the American independent whiskey importer and bottler called High and Wicked announced its latest singular limited release, a single grain Irish whiskey finished in 4 square rum distillery barrels. The whiskey is distilled from an unusual mash bill composed of 95% corn and 5% malted barley. The whiskey was initially aged in ex-bourbon barrels and finished for 6 months in casks that previously held 4 squares award-winning Mark 10 2007 Barbados rum. The whiskey was a collaboration between Noel Sweeney, the former master distiller and master blender of the Irish distillery Cooley, and Richard Seal over at Foursquare. Dream team on this one, said High and Wicked founder, CEO Lyons Brown, said in a news release. This is bottled at 100 proof. The new whiskey is available in U.S. markets and online here for just a retail price of $80. So we're about to try it right now. They sent me a bottle. Here it is. Give you guys a little bit of a close-up on it. Focus up there. There you go. So when I saw American Irish whiskey, I was like, wait, what? What is this? 4-Leaf Whiskey says it's Cooley. Yes, that's what made me excited about this. Cooley is one of those old school Irish whiskey brands. And I'm sure Stacy could speak to this a little bit more in the chat. Ooh. And so brands like Teeling. Wow, that's really light. Teeling, I think, Stacy, correct me if I'm not remembering this correctly. Didn't Cooley sell most of its barrels to Teeling back in the day when Cooley kind of closed doors? But I know there are other Irish distillers out there that have casks of Cooley distillate, but didn't Teeling have the majority of it? I feel like Cooley grain whiskey is great, says 4-Leaf, and for Cullen. Yes, for Cullen. Speaking of Irish whiskey, Ohio here, OHLQ. I was actually there with Stacy. We got to go to an event where Ohio is going all in on bringing in a bunch of different delicious Irish whiskeys to Ohio. It's the first time Ohio is, or it's the first time some of these brands will be available in the United States. And Ohio's going to get a bunch of these brands that are going to be launched here as we, get closer to St. Patty's Day, including brands like for Cullen. God, I can't even rattle off all of them. Waterford was there. Obviously, we tasted some stuff from Redbreast, some stuff from Bua. Just some amazing brands that, first of all, some of them were brands that I have never gotten to try. I only knew for Cullen from the Bardstown Bourbon Company collaboration that launched, last year. And I was really excited. They have a 15-year Irish whiskey that was sub $100. That was absolutely outstanding. I can't wait for you guys to try that one. We got to try the Whistler 4 select cast strength barrel picks. I think a PX finish, a tequila finish. What were the other two? Tequila, rum, PX, and there was one more finish in there. Yep. Yeah, Teeling has most of the Cooley malt. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, all right. Yeah, I'm not going crazy. I do remember some of my Irish whiskey education, but let's try this. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, we're looking for some of those really, rich 4 square notes here. Oh yeah, it's 4 square through and through. It's very baking spice heavy. Man, I'm getting straight up coconut on this. But it's not like that fake suntan lotion coconut, but it's a nice like toasted coconut. Yeah, citrusy coconut. There's a little bit of dark sweetness there, I think. I think you do get some very light vanilla, kind of like that that shortbread cookie note, very bright vanilla. It's not too in your face, but man, the 4 square rum cast, a little bit of like a maple syrup hit, definitely comes through. All right, let's try this one, guys. Ooh, and at 100 proof, it's got a nice spice to it. Yeah, again, the baking spices definitely translate to the palate. A lot of like cinnamon, clove, some of those tropical fruit flavors you get to. I definitely get the coconut, the orange, almost like a lemon lime type vibe on the palate as well. Man, that's crazy. It almost comes off like this is going to sound weird and probably not enticing, but like if there was like a coconut flavored Sprite, coconut Sprite, but it's got a lot of let's see. Sorry, guys. That's actually not my wire. I don't know what's happening now. Oh, it's coming back up. Yeah, that actually wasn't my wire. Okay, I think we're back. Yeah, that wasn't my wire. I don't know. My internet's freaking wacky, man. I got a new wire, just so you guys know. I got a new wire. It's all clipped in. I just double checked it. That's just my internet. That's weird. Yeah, it's the damn AOL. We see you again. Jesus. Yeah, so as I was saying, I think it's going to be a little weird for some people on this one because I do think there's there's kind of like a coconutty Sprite thing going on where it's like coconut, lemon, lime. But at the same time, there is a nice sweetness to it. It's a nice sweetness vibe. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to be for everybody, but if you really like rum and you like kind of like that easy Irish whiskey finish, this is an interesting bottle. This is one that I would say, yeah, it's not like a typical flavor profile that you would find out in the market, but it's different, which is why I kind of like it. Yeah, it's literally coconut Sprite. It's good. It's good. If you like those types of flavors, man, go for it. It's sub $100. It's not, it's not overly expensive. And again, if you like those rum flavors too, it's got a lot of it. But there's like sneaky baking spice in it as well. That's good. I like this a lot. This is different. It's unique. Yeah, I mean, you could call it Irish whiskey because it's so. Well, yeah, Irish whiskey does that too. Irish whiskey does a bunch of finishes. So yeah, you could still call it Irish whiskey if it's finished. That's nice. I actually like that one a lot. It's actually pretty light too. If you guys see how light it is, but that's what you're normally going to get with single grain Irish whiskey. Get a really light color there. It's good. Hey, Four-Gate Whiskey, Chris is here. What is going on? Jason, do you have any expectations regarding Elijah Craig and Larceny Barrel Proof ABC coming this year? Yeah, Bill Mills, we will get into that as soon as we get to the Larceny here. Just a couple more bottles I want to get through before we get into that. As far as news stories, what else we got here? Our next tasting. So Chattanooga. You guys remember Chattanooga? Chattanooga was doing some really good stuff, and they kind of, we didn't hear about anything from Chattanooga for a little while. Let's see, is that? Do I have the photo on here? I don't know if that one uploaded. Let me grab this bottle for you. I mean, I have the bottle here that you can see, but we'll check it out. So Chattanooga just released a new finished product here. Again, finishes being the word of the day. This is the Chattanooga Barrel Finishing Series, celebrating Portugal's terroir. So this was reported last Friday that Chattanooga Whiskey is bringing back a new expression within its barrel finishing series, a bourbon finished in white port casks. The limited edition series released as inaugural expression in 2021, and Chattanooga Whiskey white port cask finish marks the fourth installment in the rollout. So let's see here. So the Tennessee whiskey producer took to the Douro Valley to discover the region's distinctive terroir in Portugal. These white port casks were chosen from the Carizada, the Aniashis portion of the. What did I just say? Sorry, guys, I murdered that too. I can't talk tonight. I can't say these words. Anaseus portion, or I think I nailed it. Anaseus portion of the Douro Valley, which often produces fruity and aromatic expressions of port. So this is suggested retail price of $60, 94 proof, and was drawn from batch of 6 to 10 barrels. So, all right, this is our next one we're going to try, guys. I have a bottle right here. And there it is. So if you guys remember, Chattanooga did release a port finish that was outstanding a couple years ago. People absolutely love this one. It's got a really nice dark color. You can see the color of this one. Chattanooga is kind of known for their high malt whiskey that they create. And you definitely taste that high malt in each expression. It's very chocolatey. So it'll be interesting to how to, see these a white port finish on this one. So let's try it. Man, just some good whiskeys tonight, guys. We're diving in. Message number, you coming to the house of Bardstown next week, says Ron Miles. Yeah, Ron, I think I am, and I might be bringing my mother. We'll see how that works. I'm still trying to figure out the logistics, but I think it could happen. The Master Drum, pardon me, is that the Chattanooga New Brew? No, it's not the New Brew. It's this. This one. Will you be trying the Hard Truth's new lineup of whiskey, Alfredo Jimenez? Yeah, we're gonna try. I'm gonna taste through the Hard Truth. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wheated bourbon. That's not the one we wanted. You wanted this one, the regular bourbon. We're gonna taste through the sweet mash bourbon tonight, and on Friday you'll see a review of all three expressions. But we will taste the first one because I do want to talk to you guys about that one. So let's see. Yeah, it's Billy's, baby. Good value, 100 out. Okay, Jason. Okay, just catching up here, guys. Sorry. All right. Oh man, that has a really nice nose. I don't remember a port finish, but I have a Cabernet finish. Yeah, they did a tawny port, I believe, Tommy. I think I actually have the bottle over there. A tawny port one. Yeah, and people love that one. And this one on the nose is really, this one, this is a lot darker than what we just came off of from the High and Wicked. Michael S. Whiskey, what did I miss here? Pardon me, Jason, is that the Chattanooga New Brew? Yeah, I don't know that one. Sorry. Oh, we got BT in the house. What's going on, BT? That is Brian Tracy, legend here. Man, a bunch of people coming here. Guys, hit the like button while you're hanging out. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's go through this one here. Again, we're looking at a very bright, fruity type of profile here, guys. This one, I wouldn't say is coconut, but I think I would probably lean towards maybe like a peachy vibe, like peaches, like those trolley peach rings a little bit. Yeah, this is all citrus and peaches. Citrus and peaches. Yeah, this is really good. So far on the nose. Yeah, Tony pour, finished at least 6 months. Funky Young High Malt Bourbon worked funnily well, and I'm a finished curmudgeon, says Kenneth Rubin. All right, let's try this one. Yeah, this is very peach forward for me. Let's see what it does on the palate. I'll leave the bottle here. No, I'm taking it away. Oh wow, but the palate, very different experience on the palate. The palate is chocolatey, again from that high malt. I think really kind of plays into the flavor experience here. Yeah, is like chocolate covered peaches a thing? Because that's what it tastes like to me. Very straightforward. I don't think there's like huge levels of flavor here, but what you see is what you get kind of with this one. You're thinking white port, you're thinking very sweet, fruit forward, which it is. But as far as the finish goes on the palate, you're looking at a little bit more chocolatey vibes from that high malt, but then you get into a really nice spice and citrus type vibe on the back end of this one. So it's kind of a mix of like peach, orange, chocolate, and a little bit of spice too. If you're a fan of Chattanooga, I think people will love this one. I would have to compare this to the Tawny Port one to see, if it lives up to that one, because I really did like that Tawny Port finish that he did. This one I feel like is less of the port punch and more of the backbone of the Chattanooga high malt, that Tennessee high malt. But it has a lot of great flavors here. So let's see. The Chatta brand was a true sleeper. Tastes way more true than its actual age. Chocolate covered peaches. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, JG. Yeah, I don't know. This might be more of like a try before you buy. But if you're a fan of the Chattanooga flavor profile, I think people will love this because it's very fruit forward up front, but it has like that chocolatey, malty experience on the back end, mixed with a little bit of like an orange citrus punch on the back end. One last sip of this one. Yeah, the more I'm sipping this, the more I like it. The more it's kind of turning into more of like a chocolate covered orange here, like chocolate covered orange peel. But I do get the peach on the front of the palate though. Yeah, if you guys like chocolate covered oranges, I think that's really where this kind of takes you a little bit. It's good. And again, $60 for these from Chattanooga. Chattanooga, the one thing I will say about them, they've always had fair pricing on all their whiskeys. And anytime they do a special release, it's usually pretty affordable. You rarely see a bottle that's even over $80, let alone over $100. So I applaud Chattanooga for that one. But I think this is one that could surprise a lot of people. This could be a little bit of a surprise sleeper. Even at 95 proof, it actually does carry a nice spice to it. So, all right, we got that one. Yeah, Old Elk and Chattanooga. So here's the difference, though, Richie Z, between Old Elk and Chattanooga. Old Elk uses a very, very high malt, but they do it. And we had Greg Metz on the channel, and he talked about how the malt really rounds out the characteristics of a bourbon, kind of smooths it out. And he would know because he's just a ridiculously brilliant master distiller. Whereas what Chattanooga does is they use a bunch of different malts with different types of flavor profiles, whether it be chocolatey, whether it be kind of a roasty characteristic, a high caramel like toast. They'll kind of mix those together to create a different profile, which actually is something that they want to lift up in the backbone of the whiskey. It's not like Old Elk. Well, they kind of want to use it as a grain. You get a little bit more of the flavor in the Old Elk, but it really kind of rounds out the rough edges of the whiskey. Whereas Chattanooga wants you to taste them all. So I think while they are both high malt, I think the methodologies and the end result are different. So that sounded really professorial. So I'm sorry if that was too dorky. Oh man! Anytime soon for an M&J pick for chat? Anytime soon for an M&J pick for chat? What do you mean, Tim? Like give away a bottle for a super chat? Go get some rest, Terrence. Feel better, man. Let's see, Jason, is that a new Chattanooga whiskey product? Yeah, Chris, we just tasted it. So if you just hopped in now, we just tasted it. So all right, let's go to, I think we only have maybe let's see, one or two more. Oh yeah, let's just talk about this one real quick. I don't have this one to taste, but we could talk about this one a little bit. For those of you that are fans of Penelope, Penelope is bringing back their Tokai finish. Celebrates the Wine of Kings. Tuesday, Indiana whiskey super producer MGP announced that Penelope Bourbon is bringing back its Tokai finished rye whiskey. The brand will roll out a limited run of 1,900 six-pack cases available with suggested retail price of $90. Well, $89.99, but $90. Bottled at 106 proof and composed of a mash bill of 95.5 rye. This whiskey was finished in Tokai wine casks, according to the brand. Tokai is a sweet Hungarian dessert wine made from grapes infected with the Botrytis cinerea, according to wine enthusiasts. Botrytis is what is known as a noble rot, and the fungus causes grapes to shrivel up and raisinate. So basically, it turns the grapes into raisins. Tokai is known as the wine of kings. Yeah, if you guys are interested in Tokai finishes, I don't think Tokai has really taken off for me quite yet. I've only had a few youthful Tokai finishes that were okay. I could taste the dessert wine in it, but it wasn't anything that, completely blew me away. And last but not least, because, I just want to play the song here, but that's right. Look at that beautiful bottle of Blanton's. Buffalo Trace offers a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to purchase a coveted barrel of Blanton's Gold for a good cause. So last week, Sazerac announced an inaugural sweepstakes offering Blanton's fans the opportunity to purchase a barrel of Blanton's Gold Bourbon. The proceeds are set to benefit St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The winner of the Blanton's Gold Charity Sweepstakes will receive a VIP tour of Buffalo Trace with up to 7 guests, a private barrel selection experience, a $20,000 prize so the winner can purchase bottles from their chosen barrel, a private lunch at the distillery, and the empty barrel itself. The Blanton's Gold Charity Sweepstakes will begin February 12th and end February 29th. The winner will be drawn at random and informed by phone and email the week of March 4th. Those who desire to enter will receive a one-shot at entry into the sweepstakes after a $100 donation is made at the registration portal. So say what you want about, that whole thing about Blanton's Gold, but, you guys know I'm a huge supporter of St. Jude Children's Hospital, so I applaud them for doing it. If you're going to overpay for a bottle of Blanton's Gold or any Blanton's, it might as well go to a worthy cause. So cheers to Sazerac for Buffalo Trace doing that. Absolutely love the fact that they're using that platform and the popularity of Blanton's to raise some money for to help some sick kids out. So always a good that's always a good thing. So love it. Yes, and it's a gold horsey top. I mean, who's not gonna want that? And last but not least, guys, a couple of new labels that just kind of hit the market here or hit Coming Whiskey. The newest Boss Hog, number 11, dubbed the Juggernaut, aged in new American oak and finished in Tundai barrels. I don't know what those are. I have to look it up. I just literally saw this label today. But just as we celebrated the 10th anniversary of the Boss Hog, it looks like the next one is in the works. Tundai barrels. I have to look up what that is. And very exciting label right here from Ever North Spirits, the guys at Bourbon Junkies, Dan and Sean. Looks like they're releasing Spirit Walker, which looks like a bourbon whiskey finished in honey barrels and a toasted bourbon barrel. So I think they're going to be releasing this at their grand opening event here at the end of the month. So congrats to those guys. Love what Dan and Sean are doing. And yeah, the labels are just pretty sick. I love the way their labels look. So I'm looking forward to tasting that one if I can make it out to that event. I am trying. So I quite like the Yellowstone Tokai, says Dan C. Tundai Namco, Elden Ring, Shadows of the Erdai Tide. I don't know, Adam, maybe? I'm not sure what that is. So yeah, I think I'm going to actually put in opportunity to, can you imagine if I won that bottle? Oh my God. Crazy. So Michael S. Whiskey. All right, so here we go. He just said, Tundai is a popular North Indian drink made with cooling spices, seeds, nuts, rose petals, and milk. I don't know if I want a whiskey finish in that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, those Boss Hogs, they do some weird shit, which is what I love. But I just hate that I have to pay like $500 or $600 to, try it. Unless I see it at a bar, but yeah. KCD says Sex Panther vibes in that Evernorth 70% of the time. It works all the time. Yeah. Okay. So before we get into the Larceny, let's talk about this hard truth a little bit. Because we're gonna dive into this here. Let me I think grab the spec sheet on this. I should have pulled this up earlier, but oh yeah, here we go. So an exciting day came for Heartshooth Distilling Company as they announced the release of their 3 new bourbons. So this is I think this will be more of the flagship, their Sweet Mash Bourbon. So this will join. So these 3 bourbons, let me grab the other 2 so you guys can see the full lineup. They were kind enough to send me these. And here you go. So you have the, this is the Wheated Bourbon Bottle and Bond right here. Let me check that you guys are seeing this okay. Let me put that tag in the back. There you go. So this is the Wheated Bourbon Bottle and Bond 100 proof. This is the 4-grain bourbon 100 proof Bottle and Bond, and this is the Sweet Mash Bourbon 90 proof. So To find out about these two, you have to watch the full review. But I do want to taste the flagship with you guys. And, oh, man. So here are the details for this, guys. Hard Truth Sweet Mash Bourbon is distilled from a mash bill of 73 corn, 19% rye, 8% malted barley. The wheated bourbon is 69 corn, 19% wheat, and 12% malted barley. And the 4 grain is 78 corn, 9 rye, 9 wheat, and 4 malted barley. So let's see here. So to make these, let's see, they worked closely with Vendome Copper and Brass Works to create their state-of-the-art facility. On top of that, let's see here, they, I think what I read was that they, so according to Hard Truth, all the corn and most of the wheat of the bourbons are grown by fifth-generation Indiana farmer Doug Miller, and a majority of the rye comes from a different Indiana farmer, Dr. Dwayne Kohlenschmidt. So Kohlenschmidt, I think, Dr. Dwayne Kohlenschmidt. So they're trying to keep things local at Hard Truth, which everybody could appreciate. And I think they worked really closely with Independent Stave Company to create their profile for their specific bourbon. When you're working with the Coopers closely hand in hand, as we talked about last week, as we found out last week, I think that you can maximize the flavor of your bourbon no matter what the age is. From what I understand, these are 5 years old, and you guys, this is the 90 proof one. So here we go. Explain the difference in sweet mash and sour mash. I like that knowledge. Okay, give me 1 second. We'll get into that. So I will say the nose on here, when I first opened it, was extremely toffee caramel forward, which I really, really liked. There's maybe a slight hint of a youthful characteristic here, but not much. When I kind of turn the glass here, it goes into more of a kind of a sweet apple note. Man, a little bit of a candy there too. This is a very well-rounded nose for a 5-year bourbon. All right, so sweet mash, sour mash, very easy. Sour mash is so when you have your fermentation, when you kind of add all the grain, the yeast, everything like that. When the fermentation is when it's all fermented, basically there's some backset that's left. So think of it like sourdough bread. You use your yeast, you use all your your fermentation, your starter basically that you make to make bread. And what they do with sour mash is they take a little bit of that backset, so some of that yeast, all that fermented yeast, they put it into the new batch to jumpstart and kickstart the new batch. They also use it to kind of regulate the pH levels, make sure the pH levels are where they need to be during fermentation. Now, sweet mash is just kind of the opposite. I think people hear sweet mash and they think it's going to be a sweeter profile. That's not exactly the case. Sweet mash, what they do, instead of using backset, they just start everything from scratch each and every time. So instead of having that starter to help them jumpstart the next batch of fermentation, they clean everything out. It's a more expensive process to utilize sweet mash because you need to clean the entire system out before you can start fermenting your next batch of whiskey. So it's a little bit more expensive to utilize, but if you do it right and you get the flavors out of it that you can, it could actually be really rewarding in the process. I think that's why Wilderness Trail and Peerless are two of the biggest examples I always use when you're talking about sweet mash whiskey. From the jump, those guys had very, very impressive whiskeys for the age. You can say what you want about the pricing of Peerless, whatever. You can't say that they didn't have really good whiskey. But between Peerless and Wilderness Trail, both using a sweet mash process, low entry proof, everything they're doing was more expensive to create that whiskey, but they're getting the most out of it by using a sweet mash process, watering it down before going into the barrel, and getting the most they can from a younger whiskey. So that's really the big difference. So. Jason, explain the difference between sweet and sour. Sour, yes, sour is just reused. I probably made that description a lot longer than it had to be, but I don't know. When people ask me nerdy questions like that, I kind of geek out. All right, let's try the bourbon here. I got to say, this one, it's very impressive for a 90 proof bourbon. Also, the best part about these is the prices. The Hard Truth Sweet Mash Bourbon will be $45. That's it, 45 bucks. $44.99 to be exact. The Wheated Bourbon Bottle and Bond will be $54.99, and the 4-grain Bottle and Bond, $59.99. So not only is Hard Truth coming to the market with some 3 brand new bourbons, but they're pricing them accordingly and extremely competitively when you look at the rest of the market. So congrats to them. Just wait until we get... I would want to try the spicy mash, Jeff. If there's a spicy mash, I want to try it. Yeah, CJ Mill, I'm telling you. And what I'm tasting here for a 90 proof... This might be... So I was trying to explain this to my buddy Scott last night. The finish on this is ridiculous for a 90 proof bourbon. So you have 2 different trains of thought when it comes to a really good finish on a whiskey. You have the older, like 90 proof bourbons, like a 12-year, 15-year 90 proof bourbon that will have these long, lingering barrel oak char type notes to it that are unbelievably good. Like think of the Michter's 10-year from this year. 93 proof, but the finish on that thing was ridiculous. But it was a lot of layered flavor. Here, for a young 90 proof bourbon, you don't really usually get that. So for this one, there's a lot of great spice and finish here on the back end of this 90 proof bourbon. It's the thing that stuck out to me the moment I tasted this. It's very sweet up front, but the finish on this spiciness is so good. Yeah, very competitive to the BBC Origin series on price here, Weininger. I would agree. No, see, Chris, that's what I was trying to delineate. It's not like the Michter's finish where it's all this layered complexity. That's not what this is at all. I'm talking about just as far as spice and lingering like black pepper notes that you get for a 90 proof bourbon. This actually probably has one of the longer finishes I've ever tasted for a whiskey this young. I would actually put the Origin series up there too, especially the Wheater from Bardstown Bourbon Company. But I think this actually has a little bit more spice to it. This is a very impressive bourbon for the price. If this thing starts getting out everywhere with that price point on it, this has a chance to really do some big things, I think, this year. I have not tasted the other 2 yet. I haven't even recorded that video, but I'm planning on recording it tomorrow for Friday, so you guys will see my reaction for those 2. But if this has hit your now, I think somebody asked me where they can be found, and I thought they did list here where you'll have to look on their website where you can buy their stuff, but obviously they're still a pretty newish distillery. They're still trying to get their footing across the United States, but Hard Truth has been very impressive with their rye whiskey, and I think their bourbons are at least this bourbon is no exception. Really, really delicious bourbon. Again, caramel, toffee, vanilla, very classic bourbon flavors up front. A little bit of like a toasted bread type vibe to it. And then the back end is a lot of black pepper, a little bit of cinnamon, like red hot candy on the back end of that as well. That just kind of lingers. It's a nice balance of sweet and spice. So great job there on Hard Truth. All right, let's get to it because we have some more bourbons to try here. My God, it's a long night. I got to shut up and just keep tasting this whiskey here. Oh, that's right. Hydrate. I haven't had any water. So actually, interesting tidbit. People were asking me like, what's my pre-live stream, I guess, routine. It's like, how do you not falling off your chair at the end of every single night? Basically, I make sure before the live stream, I drink a lot of water. Oh my gosh, that was squeaky. Sorry, microphone. Yeah, I drink a lot of water before the live stream. I make sure I have a decent dinner, and make sure I get a good, I'll have like one kind of, usually it's like Evan Williams, 1783, or it's Wild Turkey 101, have a little bit of a pregame pour to kind of get my palate going a little bit. But when it comes to, getting ready for it, I think drinking a lot of water, having a decent dinner is definitely helps a lot. So that's basically it. It's not magic. And of course, I take my Z-Biotics, so I can wake up and be functional the next morning. All right, guys, so here we go. Everybody has been asking me about Larceny Barrel Proof A124. This is my first pour of it, fresh crack. We'll give it a minute here. Was about to get it over. Did I miss something? 902 Vapes. No, we're still waiting for the finals. I'm hoping it's going to be next week, 902 Vapes. Just waiting on Mr. Minnick. That's all. Larceny A124 comes off very oaky and malty. Nowhere near the sweetness of previous batches. Also has less of a finish and is thinner. Just my take, says Stephen Walt. All right, well, let's see if I get the same with you, man. Double bass suggestion I've been wanting you to do for weeks now. Bardstown Disco 10 versus Disco 11. Okay, JG, laser code, please. No, you're not getting laser codes here. If it's good, it's good. Just enjoy it. Shut up. All right, so first things first. Nose on the Larceny Barrel Proof A124. Yeah, not digging that. So this brings me back to like old school, like Cracker Jack vibes, where I get like that caramel corn note from Heaven Hill. Serial number that. Yeah. Does the Z actually work? See, yeah, Z-Biotics does work, at least for me. Yep. Long night. Get ready to cue up the falling off the chair clip. Yeah, it's queued up. It's always queued up. I agree. I think there is. I think malty is actually a good way to describe it. It's almost kind of like a Whopper type candy in the glass, which, you know, if you're a fan of Whoppers, doesn't sound terrible. But it does. It lacks the sweetness that some of the later batches of Larceny has had. All right, a little bit more sweetness on the palate. Not a ton though. This doesn't get into like that really nice like pecan pie note I was getting in the C923 or even the B523 from last year. The sweetness is definitely a little bit more muted here. I actually do get a nice burst of caramel on this for me. But it's also coming off pretty spicy. Again, oaky, spicy, caramel corn. I do agree with the malty characteristic. I think it does have a little bit of a malt characteristic to it, for sure. Tasting right along with you on the fresh Cracker Jack with some light vanilla on the nose. Yeah, Shemi, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Cracker Jack, light vanilla. Palate, I think there's more of the Cracker Jack, but I think the caramel is a little bit more elevated than I thought it would be. I'm actually getting a nice, like, there's this little weird hint of lemon that I'm getting for me, or like a citrus like punch that's kind of in between, which is weird. I don't know where that's coming from. It's got this like acidic, like this little twinge of acid, or maybe it's like a cayenne pepper. There's something that's just very bright, like right at the mid palate, right in between before it hits the finish. The finish is spicy. It's a little bit oaky, a little bit drying too on the back end of it. Tasting around. Let's see here. If you like your bacon, Ladeg Sinclair series red wine cast, is 190 too high for Woodford batch proof? Michael Famo. I haven't tried it yet. 190 I think is too. I already think Woodford batch proof is overpriced for what it is, but I know there's a lot of people that love it. But 190 I think is too high. I wouldn't pay more than retail for any Woodford batch proof. I don't care what it is. All right, let's go to the Elijah Craig and see what those differences are. I know a lot of people like comparing the first batches here. So far, I feel like neither of these, the A123s for me this year, have kind of missed the mark. It's not to say that they're bad whiskeys, or bad bourbons, I should say. It's just that they're not as good as some of the other previous batches that we've had. But this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit. This is what Heaven Hill is going for, guys. It's variation. What we think or what I think is good might be someone else's, whiskey of the year. You just never know. And I think that variation is what, is what Heaven Hill wants to do and bring to the table. And I get that part of it. I think as whiskey and bourbon enthusiasts, we want every single batch to be an absolute hitter, banger, knock it out of the park. Everything needs to be a C923 of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof last year, or everything needs to be a B523 of Larceny Barrel Proof last year. And I think while a lot of people really do believe that, and I think there's a part of me that wishes that too, because we want our money well spent and we want each and every release to be just an absolute hitter. But that's just an unsustainable, you just, barrels have, the amount of barrels that go into a batch, it's very hard to maintain. So when Connor O'Driscoll's here, I want to ask him about the process of batching both of these products. I want to ask him basically the methodology. Are they going for specific flavor profiles? Are they looking to do different flavor profiles? Is it always the best batch that they could possibly make? Or is it the best batch that they think at that time that they can make with what they have? Or is it like a profile that they're trying to hit? Like, do they have an expectation like each time? Like, okay, let's make a spicy batch. Let's make a super sweet batch. Let's make a ultra aged batch. Like those three like milestones, is that what they try to hit each year? It'll be interesting to kind of get his feedback. I just don't know. Chris Garner with the super chat. Loved your interview with Jack Daniels last stream. Hope to see more. Yeah, Chris, we got some bangers coming in, so absolutely. A bacon crisp here. Bourbon is a very diverse crowd, and these brands can't just make offerings for the hardcore enthusiasts. Diversification is key to have a broad scope or a fan base. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Chris. It's just one of those things where diversity in flavor profiles is what's going to keep different people coming through the door. If they're always making a high-age whiskey, a high-age bourbon with a lot of oak to it, a lot of depth of, I don't know, maybe flavors that don't really appeal to the new bourbon drinker, Heaven Hill's a little bit of an outlier because they have so many brands that can introduce them to bourbon. It's kind of hard to make that argument for them, but I get it. All right, one last sip of each one here. Yeah, I mean, first impressions, it's an underwhelming batch. Is it good? It's good. It's solid. Doesn't blow me away. It's not as bad as some of those like first batches that they brought out, when this first released. I still think it's a little bit more of a refined product, but a B523 or a C923, this is not. So is it a good batch of decently barrel-proof wheated bourbon? Yeah, but again, it gets into more like that caramel corn type note a little bit. I'm getting this little just this little pinch of like a cayenne pepper vibe. I think that's what I'm getting here, which is giving it a nice little spice to it. But overall, it's a lot less sweet than some of the last couple batches we've seen. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It's interesting because when you compare them, this one, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, comes off actually a lot older than the Larceny does, at least right now. Obviously, when you compare this Elijah Craig Barrel Proof to some of the other previous ones with higher age statements, you could see the difference between those two. But in this comparison, the 10-year age statement, actually almost 11 years, comes off actually a lot older than the Larceny does. A little bit more rounded, a little bit more oak. And again, both of these have very spicy profiles. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, the A124, is very spice driven to me. It's rye heavy. Again, I can make an argument there's some cayenne pepper here too for both of these. So is it by chance that they're kind of mirroring each other a little bit? I don't know. Were they going for that? I don't know. Probably not, but that's what we got with these two. There's a cayenne pepper type vibe for both of these that I'm picking up on. So yeah, there you go. All right. What do we got? Oh my God, it's 10:23 already. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this blind, but we'll see what happens here, guys. All right. I did want to get to this bottle here. This is the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. And speaking of Dan and Sean, I bought this bottle solely on their recommendation. This was a pick, I think, done by Bourbon Outfitter. And this apparently, I think, is a double oaked 7-year. I believe it's MGP. Yeah, distilled in Indiana. So this is MGP 7-year, but I do believe it's double oaked. I heard it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, look how dark it is. Old Louisville is a decently new brand. It did start with a couple, Amin and Beth Carood, the self-proclaimed whiskey aficionados. Put their heart and soul into creating this product that honors both the rich history of Old Louisville neighborhood as well as a long-standing tradition of Kentucky bourbon. So, yeah, it's kind of cool looking. I do like the bottle. I did want to get into this one, but I can't believe it's 10:20. Time is flying because I've just been kind of yapping the whole night. My God, shut up, Jason. I do like the bag though. That's pretty sexy, right? Look at that. Let me put that away. It's gonna go right here. All right. Just picked up that old. Oh, Copper Wolf, you got one too? Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that one. All right. So, a request that I've been getting a lot from the from my patrons is to kind of rank my favorite barrel picks from Master Journey Whiskey Company, and there are a couple of these that are actually still left. So we'll see how it goes here. I'll reveal. So what I did was I picked my personal favorites. I also put out a poll to the patrons as far as what their favorites were. A lot of our favorites, very much were, on the same page here. But it, for those of you watching, I think this will open you up your eyes to a lot of new brands that are doing amazing things in whiskey that you may not know about, that we had to kind of seek out because it was just getting harder and harder to get picks from the heritage brands. So I'm just going to pick some random bottles here. So I have I have 10 samples I'm going to try here. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these guys. I want to whip through these, but these are my barrel picks, so I feel like I know them pretty well. But when you put them in a blind and compare them, things change, things happen. So we'll see. Looks like the script style of Old Soul. Just picked up the Old Louisville. Oh man, I love the variety, says Ben Draman. 10. Sheesh. That's right. That's right, Darrell. I'm a professional. You be careful. I love whiskey. It's Valentine's Day. Real quick, another programming note. Again, guys, February 28th. That's right, February 28th in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, Ian Sturman, Ross and Squibb, Master Distiller, will be live in studio right here in the Whiskey Room. That's right, live in studio, answering all your questions about all things Ross and Squibb, MGP, whatever the hell we want to call it. Cannot wait to talk to Ian. We're going to talk about the past, the present, and the future of Ross and Squibb. His new role, how he's kind of taken to being a master distiller, one of the the biggest names, the biggest names in the land of bourbon. It's incredible. So like I said, he's going to be coming up here and driving, and he's going to be live in studio, which I think is going to be incredible. And then the first week in April, Connor O'Driscoll looks like will be on, Master Distiller at Heaven Hill, and we're going to pepper him with a bunch of questions. We'll see what he has to say. I think he'll also have a special announcement I think he may be making on the channel. I'm not going to say too much yet because I don't even know what it is. But stay tuned for some great off the still episodes coming soon right here on the Mash and Drum in the next few weeks. So there we go. 10 samples here, guys. That's right. So 10 samples, and hopefully this won't happen. I fell. Yeah, that's right. I'm still here. Don't worry about it. I'm still here. Dude's name is Sturman. Can he stir a drink? Smoked Steve. Very nice. All right, let's get into these samples real quick. Let's see what we got. So I think these are all lettered. These are lettered. Right? Yeah, these are all randomly lettered, I think. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. In the meantime, send in all your questions here. Make sure you tag me in YouTube chat. If you have any questions about anything about the channel. I wanted to do this series called like Question of the Week, Question of the Day, whatever you want to call it. So I could kind of, and it could be about anything. Somebody asked me the other day, Jason, when you talk about bourbon, sometimes you refer to cereals a lot. So what are your top 5 cereals? So question of the week, top 5 cereals. Here we go. I've been thinking about this. Top 5 cereals. So let me taste the first one here. Actually, let me, before I even get into my top 5 cereals, and you guys are going to want to take out your notebook for this because this is going to be golden. Golden cereal stuff. All right. Oh, I always forget. I should number these, not letter them, because they are lettered underneath. All right, let's see what we got, guys. CJ Mill says, I'm happy for you, man. I've been watching your old videos from years ago, and it's awesome to see your progression and pull since your start. Yeah, I appreciate that, CJ. It's been a labor of love, for sure, for the channel. And, all you guys really make it happen. I couldn't say thanks enough to you more and more each and every year. Just the amount of support and the amount of folks that respect what I do on the channel, I think is great. I do think that there, as a contingency of people that maybe watch my channel that, well, I should say from an industry standpoint, they may not like how honest I am, but I'm always going to be honest no matter what. So if I don't like something, I'm going to tell you. All right, let's try this one here. Let's go first. Well, that's already a hitter. These are all going to be so good. How am I supposed to pick which one is my favorite? Yeah, we'll kind of go through these. All right, so top 5 cereals. Here we go. Number 5, Fruity Pebbles. That's right, number 5. Fruity Pebbles gets my number 5 cereal that I love. I got to try to remember the other ones. But yeah, Fruity Pebbles, right up there. Boom, nailed it. Loved Fruity Pebbles growing up. I love the way the milk turns to that fruity, milky, whatever you want to call it, the after milk, we call it, when all the whiskey, when all the cereal's gone and all you're left is with that little bit of milk. Yep. Oh. Well, this is delicious. This is an orange bomb. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Which one is this one, guys? Which pick is this? Holy shnikes. I thought 1 was really good. 1 was very fruity, fruit forward, but 2 was just like, hold my beer. MJ says, I'm 40 and I still eat Fruity Pebbles more than I'd care to admit. I love it, MJ. Love it. Man, all these great guests you have. I'm coming. How are you? How are you at 100,000 subs? Let's go, people. Yeah, that's the goal this year, 100,000. I know I was kind of I was getting close here to, have I hit that milestone yet? I was getting close to 80. Am I there yet? Oh, can't see it yet. Let me do this. No, 86.9. I'm close to 87. Close to 87. So, and again, people ask me all the time, how are you not 100,000? It's fine. I do a lot less clickbaity videos than a lot of the other channels do. I think that's what really kind of plays into it. Plus, it's just me by myself. I'm probably not as entertaining as, some of the duos that are out there. So I feel like that maybe plays into it. And maybe the fact that I'm too honest and too opinionated maybe turns some people off. I don't know. That's my theory, why I haven't hit 100,000 yet. I think it's mainly because I just don't do enough of the clickbaity type videos that a lot of the other, folks do. So, but I'm fine with it. I rather have, an audience that it's not clicking on me for 1 or 2 videos that I've done in the past, but kind of a compendium of work that I've worked on over the years. So I feel like it's coming. We'll see. I have some clickbaiter videos in the works that I think could maybe help push me there. We'll see how it is. Oh my God, this is ridiculous, whatever that is. Oh my gosh. All right, number 4 cereal. Number 4 cereal that I loved, especially growing up. I'm going to have to go with, and this might sound weird to some folks, but I love this cereal. It's such a classic cereal. Frosted Mini Wheats. Frosted Mini Wheats is delicious. Come on, guys. Give it up for Frosted Mini Wheats. You know you love it. You know you have to have it. I think it's an underrated cereal that not many people like talk about. You have to eat it fast, though. That's the only thing with Frosted Mini Wheats. You leave that shit in the milk for a little too long, and it turns into wet hay, and you can't even eat the shit. So you got to eat that stuff right away. It's like you're eating just, like wet hay. Just like, you can't even swallow it. It tastes terrible. You got to eat Frosted Mini Wheats like in the beginning. Can't let it sit in the milk too long. I'm just saying. So, just Hell's Bourbon. So many big words tonight. am I freaking out with my big words in my dictionary level? Outside the Star says chocolate mini wheats. Is that a thing? Chocolate mini wheats? Yeah, wet hay, dude. Yeah. The Whiskey Say It says, nope, nah, heck no. Are you talking about Frosted? You don't like Frosted Mini Wheats? Come on, man. That shit's good. All right. Frosted Mini Wheats, number 4. Number 3. Number 3 cereal coming in is one of my favorite cereals of all time. I got to give it up to Lucky Charms. That's right. Lucky Charms taking the number 3 spot for me. I mean, I love the marshmallows. I don't eat it, like, presently. I don't eat it. Now, Lucky Charms was right kind of up there with, like, Frankenberry and some of the monster chocolate cereals. It's just like what's the level of marshmallow you're willing to go to. The problem is that, like, the monster cereals aren't available all year, so that's why I did Lucky Charms. But if, like, Count Chocula or Frankenberry was available all year, I'd probably put, like, Frankenberry in the 3 slot, because that's probably still been my favorite. But I'm going to give it to Lucky Charms for the number 3 spot. So, yeah. Yep. Magically delicious. Number 3 has a very distinct spice palette to it. A lot of cinnamon, a lot of clove, a lot of sweetness. Yeah, Cocoa Puffs. I would probably put Cocoa Puffs in my top 10. Also, Cookie Crisp, Sean Marie D. That would probably make my top 10. But there are 2 cereals I love a little bit more. Number 2. You may have already guessed it. You may have already thought of it. It is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, my number 2 cereal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The Cinnadust. It's all about the friggin' Cinnadust. The sugar, the cinnamon, all of it. Give me the Cinnadust right now. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, number 2. Again, it's a cereal I never really eat because you're trying to avoid sugar and all that crap. But yeah, Cinnadust. On the cinnamon, those commercials are so freaking weird, but it just makes me smile. So I love the Cinnadust. Yeah, man, that is spicy and delicious. I think I like that number 2 over. If I have to rank these so far, I like 2 over 3, but I like 3 over 1. All right, let's go to number 4. This is the best list of the year so far. Snort that cinnamon dust. Ooh, this is much lighter. Much lighter on the palate. Which one was that? Oh, man. The finish on this makes it. The finish on this pick makes it. I still yeah, JG is basically Cinnamon Toast Crunch is basically Amburana finished cereal. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine like a whiskey brand coming out with a cereal called Amburana? Amburana Crunch? Oh my god, I should register. I should trademark that shit right away. Amburana Crunch. It'll just be kind of a cinnamon toast. It won't have cinnamon dust, but How do I get an infusion of oak in my cereal? That sounds terrible. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, this is sneaky good. This is a little bit of a lighter touch on the palate, but it's definitely a little bit more layered here. Layered finish. Again, remember I was talking about the finishes between the hard truth versus like a Michter's 10-year. Even though it's low proof, it's got a very layered finish, whereas the hard truth has just more spice, not so much those layered flavors. This is more like a Michter's 10, where it has those really layered flavors at the end. Layered finish all day long. Number one cereal. You may have thought about it, but you may not have guessed it. Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs. That's right. My number one cereal of all time, Reese's Puffs. If I could eat that every day, I would. Chocolate, peanut butter, cold, like super, super cold milk. That is the best. And the after milk, too. Chocolate, peanut butter, milk. Reese's Puffs. It makes sense. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is probably my favorite candy of all time. So Reese's Puffs is my favorite cereal of all time. Number one, Reese's Puffs. There you go. Reese's Puffs. Ooh, what's this one? Ooh, this has got to be a rye. This is herbal and spicy. That's a spicy meatball right here. Tom Shanley says, never heard of it. Wow, you've never. James Lay, James, give me a cereal better than Reese's Puffs. It's got everything. It's got everything. I guess peanut butter crunch, so I basically guessed 3 out of the 5. James Lay, Cookie Crisp over Reese's. Cookie Crisp over, Cookie. So James Lay's the Cookie Crisp guy. James Lay, I agree. Cookie Crisp is my top 10, but Cookie Crisp is a cereal I can't eat every day. It's like ultra sweet for me. Reese's Puffs, I could eat that shit any day, and I won't get sick of it. That's the difference for me. Yep. Oh man, Captain Crunch is a good one. Big Vic, backyard's in the house. I just came back. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, I just came back with our Larceny A124. Not a great batch. It's okay. It's solid, but if you're expecting it to be as good as B523 or C923, it's not. It's a very interesting batch. It's a little bit more of that caramel corn forward, very caramel heavy, a little bit of like a cayenne pepper on the back end, but that elevated sweetness that we've come to know and love with Larceny Barrel Proof the last few batches, it's just not there with this one. So there you go, Big Vic. Thank you so much, Big Vic. You get a little bit of a video here. You get the Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
All right. Thanks, Big Vic. All right, let's try this one. This is definitely a rye, I think. Oh my gosh. That is a beast of a rye whiskey. Wow. Which one is that? I don't have many ryes in here, so it's got to be only one of the 3 ryes. This might be the rare character rye. This thing is an absolute monster. Oh my God, that's so good. That's a special bottle. All right, so out of these, I might go. It's between 2 and 5 for me as like my favorites. So if I were to rank the top 5 here, these 5, I would probably go 2 is my number 1. Let me put these off camera here. Let me move that out of the way. So 2 is my number 1. 5 is my number 2. And then let's see, 1. I like this one too. I might go 4, 1, and then this one. All right. So we'll keep that. All right. Next round of samples here. Oh, this is fun. All right. All right. We're making good time here. Decent time. All the cereal talk got my eye in the cabinet doors. That's right. You're all looking in your cabinet. What do I have? Another cereal that I was thinking of putting in the mix that's just a classic cereal that I love putting on is Honey Nut Cheerios. Come on, Honey Nut Cheerios, I think is a delicious cereal. It brings honey, it brings sweetness. It's not overly sweet. I feel like you could drizzle a little bit more honey on top, right? A little bit more honey on top of the Honey Nut Cheerios. Makes it all sticky and gooey and good. Yeah. Honey Nut Cheerios, I think, is underrated. Other cereals that just kind of missed the list. We talked about Cookie Crisp, Captain Crunch. Now, which Captain Crunch? I happen to love Crunch Berries. Love the old school one, not all the old all berries bullshit, not the peanut butter crunch one. I'm talking about just the regular Captain Crunch Crunch Berries is delicious. Cocoa Pebbles, I would actually kind of put in that mix. As much as I love Fruity Pebbles, I did love Cocoa Pebbles too, but I might go Cocoa Puffs over Cocoa Pebbles. Yeah, Honey Nut Cheerios, I think Apple Jacks, Stephen Waite. I totally forgot about Apple Jacks. That might change my whole list. I forgot about Apple Jacks. Yeah, Apple Jacks was a good one. Very, very interesting cereal, Apple Jacks, I think. Yeah. Let's see. Honey Nut Cheerios. Yep, I'm down on that. I thought you were going to say that. Apple Jacks. The Oreo O cereal is a sleeper, says Michael Themo. Circle K Honeycombs. Damn, now I want some cereal, says Andrew. Yeah, you all want to get cereal right now. I know you do. What are some other cereals that I used to love here? Ooh, what's that one? Oh, that's nice. Let me see. These are all, these are all lettered accordingly, I think. Yep. Okay, we're good. Yep, we're good. All right, just making sure these are all lettered. Trix. So Trix I do like, but I thought Fruity Pebbles is above the Trix. So that's why Fruity Pebbles made my list and not Trix. So actually, this is a great call out. Prayers for those around the shooting in Kansas City today. So bad. Yeah, I mean, it just, celebrating a Super Bowl and then something like that happens. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about shit that happens in the world anymore. It's just so infuriating sometimes. It's like, I don't know. Just like kind of be kind to one another. And actually, we should talk about the Super Bowl a little bit. I, by no means, thought that San Francisco was ever going to win that game. There were too many things that happened in between. The muffed punt, the missed field goal. San Francisco was begging Kansas City to come back and beat them. And you leave that time on the clock for Patrick Mahomes, it's going to happen. So say what you want about the decision to take the ball first from San Francisco. I feel like you can go either way. I know the coach is getting a lot of shit for that. He should have deferred or, whatever. But I get that mindset. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I feel like if you feel like you have to make a touchdown, you should have just went for it on fourth down, being San Francisco, rather than just kick the field goal. But apparently they didn't know the rules, for what they said. Some of the commercials, though, too, were it was an okay year for commercials. I did think the Dunkin' Donuts one with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was pretty funny. The what was the one with the CeraVe with Michael Cera? That one was pretty clever. I thought it was pretty cool. I hate all the Brock Purdy hate. Not a fan of either team really, but he doesn't deserve the criticism. Yeah, Jake Parsons, I agree with you. Brock Purdy, it's his second freaking year in the league. Second year. Well, I'm not sure if it's his second year, but his second year as a starter. And people are like, oh, we knew that Brock Purdy couldn't get it done. Like, the guy's playing the only reason why he lost the championship game last year is he got hurt and had to leave the game. Then he comes in this year and he basically, he left the field with a lead. He left the field with a lead in the Super Bowl in his second year. Like, what more did these people want this guy to do? Because he couldn't live up to the expectation of winning the Super Bowl. So now you're going to just push aside his accomplishments, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. I think the people that are looking down on Brock Purdy, he was the best player on the field for San Francisco, and it wasn't even close. He outplayed Lamar Jackson. He outplayed, I'm not going to say he outplayed, what's his name from Buffalo? But, I mean, he had a better QB rating, everything that he did in that, so he couldn't have done any more. It was missed opportunities. Yeah, did he miss a couple throws? He missed that one big throw to Deebo Samuel for the, down the field for a possible touchdown, overthrew him. But that happens a lot. Patrick Mahomes missed a lot of throws too. But Patrick Mahomes is going to get the all the accolades because he did the game-winning drive. But all the hate on Brock Purdy is bullshit. Bullshit. The fact that he's doing this in his second year in the league is ridiculous. Lamar Jackson, everybody talks about, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. The guy can't win a fucking playoff game. And Brock Purdy did it, and we're going to disparage him and not Lamar Jackson. I don't know. Lamar Jackson, is more talented quarterback than Brock Purdy, but he hasn't been able to get past the damn championship game either. Brock Purdy actually got to the Super Bowl. So you want to call him a game manager, you want to call him what quarterback isn't a game manager? You have to manage the game. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm not like some big Brock Purdy fan, but I can't stand how, the media, the sports media kind of disparages him and what he's done. It's bullshit. Defense was smoked. Purdy did what he needed to do. Yeah. That's really good. Man, this is an absolute... Oh, that's good. That's like a butter bomb. I feel he is on the spectrum. I don't know. I just think he's good. But overall, it was a very, very good Super Bowl. It was a lot of fun to watch. Great. Oh, man, that is fucking ridiculous. What is that? That is ridiculous. This could be the Corbin Cash. That is stupid good. I'm going to guess that's the Corbin. It's chocolatey, it's funky, it's rye bready. It is so, oh my God. And the finish on that's going on for days. Jackson chokes, he always has. Butter pecan at the end of the about entertainment and money. Purdy gives Eli Manning vibes. Yeah, I could see that. Very soft spoken, very kind of, Ooh. Oh, this one might be the butter pecan right here. That is super spicy and super sweet. Speaking of your picks, if you could choose one, would you choose your 13 Colony or ASW picks as CJ Miller? Oh, man. Well, we did 2 ASW picks. The soloist that we did was one of the best casts that they had in the entire warehouse. That one might even surpass the 13 Colony for some people. The 13 Colony rye we picked was absolutely amazing, but that ASW soloist, that barrel is an extremely special barrel. And anyone that sleeps on it, that's fine, because I'm probably going to buy a case of it for myself. So all you patrons watching better freaking jump on that bottle, because it's stupid good. Stupid good. Purdy was great, but Jeffrey Wack could probably be the backup in the 49ers system and succeed. Yeah, Joe, I don't agree with that. People are acting like, system quarterbacks, if you're in the system, you still got to make the throws. I want to see any average Joe go out there and make those throws. Like, it's so easy. It's bullshit. Come on. Like, everybody has to be Dan Marino or have the arm of like a Troy Aikman, Dan Marino to be considered like a good quarterback. You could have a freaking cannon of an arm and have the accuracy of shit. I mean, Brock Purdy makes the throws when he has to. Did he miss a couple? Yeah, but what quarterback doesn't? I don't agree with that. Oh, this is a flavor bomb right here. Woo, that's good. And have that poise, give me a break. They didn't lose because of Purdy. Yeah, they didn't lose because of Purdy. In the thumb, you had now pictured Navy SEALs. Did the SEAL team have a hand in that pick? Says Josh Fritz. No, the Navy SEAL, the Frogman, which is the double oak pick that we did, which is this bottle right here. This is from Art of the Spirits out of Colorado. And this bottle, Art of the Spirits out of Colorado, they utilize a lot of the proceeds that they make off the bottle sales, and they donate it directly to military causes. So they make sure it goes directly to the veterans, not to anybody in between. And so they base all of their stickers, most of their stickers, not all of them, but most of them are military inspired. So that's what that one's called. It's called the Frogman, obviously based on a Navy SEAL. So, wow, this one's incredible. That's incredible right there. All right, last one. People judge without looking at the metrics, and at the end of the day, Purdy has given his team more than most QBs have given their teams. Bashing on him is insane at the end. Yeah, how many quarterbacks sucked this year in the NFL? How many quarterbacks were backup quarterbacks this year in the NFL? I'm a Falcons fan. We didn't have a quarterback. I would have begged for Brock Purdy, for God's sake. Begged for Brock Purdy as an Atlanta Falcon fan. We had nobody to throw the fucking ball. So all the people that are fans of different teams that say, oh, Brock Purdy's not that great. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with your quarterback. I'm sure it's a backup and he fucking sucks. I'd take Brock Purdy in a heartbeat over anybody right now. Yeah, the Art of the Spirits pick, guys, the double oaked is actually still available on Shared Pours. If you guys want to get your hands on a Master Journey pick and try an unbelievably good pick, that Frogman that I just showed you is available on Shared Pour if you want to grab it. Now, it's pricey. It's $115. It's a sourced whiskey. I know that's pricey for a lot of people, but I'm telling you, for a double oaked bourbon, it's insanely good. So, I'm a Giants fan. Would have killed for Purdy. Well, you had Tommy Cutlets. You got to love Tommy Cutlets. Q, what's the best laser code on the cereal micro beverages? So when it comes to Fruity Pebbles, you want all the laser codes that start with an FU. FU, Fruity Pebbles cereal codes are the best. Do you want Dak Prescott? Nope, I don't want Dak Prescott either. He folds in big moments, and I think we've seen that a pattern enough. You know who I want to play in Atlanta? I want Kirk Cousins. I would love to see Kirk Cousins or even Justin Fields as a quarterback. I don't really want to draft a rookie quarterback and bring him in and have him learn the system and all that stuff and grow and all that crap. I think Atlanta, with some pieces, they have a great defense. Their defense was a top 10 defense this year. Not many people realize that. We had a lot of injuries in the middle of the year. They weren't great, but our offense couldn't do shit. And Arthur Smith as a coach sucked. So I'm glad he's gone. He's in freaking Pittsburgh now. So I love the hire that we got. I love our head coach, and I'm hoping for big things. But they need a quarterback to throw to all this talent that they have. They have underutilized talent for the last few years, and I think Kirk Cousins or a seasoned quarterback, Justin Fields, could come in and do something like that to manage all this talent that we have. I would love to see Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta, so it might be a good fit. All right, last sip here. What's up, Caleb? Really enjoyed your Advent videos. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, man. This one's interesting. Oh, this one is the shit right here. That is the shit. That's the number one in this flight right here. Woo! That is incredible. Living in Illinois, look at how many drops the Bears receivers and TE has had. I would be confident throwing anyone besides DJ. Watch the video. Wouldn't Ugg phone. Yeah, I got you, man. Atlanta needs to learn how to use the best players on their own. Good move getting rid of the coach. He was dumb. Yeah, he was. He made things too overly complicated. This one's really good too. Really good balance, really good spice. This one might be my second. Oh, actually, no. This one was really good. Oh, God, this is ridiculous. This might be my number one. Yeah, moving that to number 2. This will be here, that'll be there, and that'll be there. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my top 4 for the from these 2 flights, and I'm going to judge these 4 and kind of mix these up, and we'll find out what the top 4 are. The rest, they're all good, but I just want to focus on the top 4 quickly here before we sign off. Jay, thanks for supporting Brock Purdy. He surpassed Joe Montana and Steve Young, the 49's under for yards, and I believe passer rating. Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get the hate. Just guys, I mean, people want to. It's like you watch the sports guys and are like, oh, I mean, he couldn't do what Patrick Mahomes did. Who can? Patrick Mahomes is a freak of nature. That guy is an outlier. Nobody can match up. By the time that guy is done, he's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. It's going to be like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and then fill in what other 2 quarterbacks you want to put up there, guys. Whoever you think you're a fan of. Joe Montana, John Elway, Dan Marino, Peyton Manning. You throw your other 2 up there. But Mount Rushmore right now, I mean, it's looking like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes right now by the time Patrick Mahomes' career is over. That's what you have. There's no debate. I don't care what anybody says. Mahomes has already, 3 Super Bowls already? They're going to go for a 3-peat next year. It's insane. It's insane. That's the Mount Rushmore already. It's already half built. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Then you have whatever other 2 you want to fill in. And that's subjective. That's going to be on who you like or who you think deserves that. Troy Aikman, whoever you feel like is going to take those 2 spots. But Tom Brady's longevity, the amount of Super Bowls he won. Then you have Mahomes, which is an absolute freak. He's still 27 years old. That guy can play and play and play. He's going to win more championships as it goes. It's just going to happen. I don't know if he'll win 7 like Tom Brady did, but dude, that guy is insane. Yeah, he's 27, 28. Yeah, Purdy has a rookie contract. Now, I think he's going to get paid, but we'll see what happens. All right, so top 4 here. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I like that one over this one. I like that one over that one, I think. This one is ridiculous. This is tough. It's really between these 2. These 2 are top notch. I don't know. You call this 1A, 1B. These 2 are. I'm not going to sit here and try to nitpick these 2, but all right. Let's see what the top 4 are here, guys. So we have letter G. Letter G belongs to. Oh shit. This does not surprise me. The Nashville Barrel Company Presto. Nashville Barrel Company, our Presto single barrel. This is an MGP single barrel that we selected a while back. This gets 4th place out of everything. Wow. This is such a good barrel. I love that barrel. I don't think it's quite as good as the Houdini was, but this is a damn nice barrel. All right, let's see what got 3rd. This one I'm really interested in. Letter F. Letter F goes to the Driftless Glen Grand Marnier Glaze. So this is a single barrel Driftless Glen that we did that absolutely just has this rich, full-bodied. It tastes like Grand Marnier. It's like orange and orange liqueur, cinnamon, sugar. It is so damn good. Driftless Glen, again, one of those brands that I don't think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this brand. If you guys have not tried anything from Driftless Glen, you must try it. Their single barrels are ridiculously good, which means the last two. I think these last two are ryes. I think we're looking at between the Master and Journey Army and also the Corbin Cash. So let's see what we got. Again, I said this is kind of like 1A, 1B. This is letter H. This is the rare character. And it looks like my number one pick of the year. Yeah. My favorite pick from the Master Journey Whiskey Club for 2023 is going to belong to the Corbin Cash Rye. Corbin Cash, if you guys have not tried their rye whiskeys yet, absolutely unbelievably stellar stuff. This profile is so different and good and funky, and holy crap, it is so damn good. Really quick before I sign off, now that we have those rankings out of the way, I do want to highlight a couple of newer Cedar Ridge Double Oak was in the mix. If you guys have not tried any of the Cedar Ridge bourbons, I think you should right away. This is the Double Oak that we did. We called this the Moonlight Graham. This was absolutely delicious. As far as some other picks we did, we had the Foregate, the Spaniard, the Dancing Goat. Let's see where this one came in. Dancing Goat was letter B. I had this. All right, here's Dancing Goat. Dancing Goat made fourth place in the first blind sampling that we did. So Dancing Goat, we called this one the Spaniard because it's finished in Spanish oak. That was a big favorite for a lot of people. And which one was this one? The Bud of Pekin. Where did that one land? This is, let's see. That was letter J. Oh, that one's right here. This one got third place in the second one. So the Bud of Pekin was in the mix here. This was a Burai blend that I did. Absolutely super proud of this bottle. Love this bottle so much. And then we have the Barrel King, the CYPV community blend that got third place in the second one as well. So just some really good picks that we got to do this for 2023. 2024 is already off to an amazing start with some of the picks we have lined up. So, man, it's going to be a good 2024 for the Master Journey Whiskey Club. So, before we sign off, I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for all the super chats, everybody. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't yet, hit the like button before you head out of here. Why don't you go on over to Women of Whiskeys and see what they got going on. Remember, next week could be the finals for Blennigeddon, but the week after that, we're going to have Ian Sturman live here in studio, Master Distiller from MGP. Thanks for all the support, guys. Thanks for watching. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Cheers, and I'll see you next week right here on the Master and Drum. Cheers, folks.